Boozin with
There
gays.
you go. Oh my God. What do you want?
Play it again,
I
Sam.
knew you were gonna do.
I love hearing this song. It just
It's well, you know.
Boozin with gays.
The camera's there.
the camera's right there. Hey, everybody. Hey, chin, 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 chin. So
I don't have my drink yet.
this is what we're doing. We are being the lazy boozing with gays tonight.
Or we're being the promoting boozing with gays.
So,
First of all, I'm going to introduce yourself.
all right. Hey, I'm Michael Shepard.
This is Michael Shepard.
I am Michael Shepard. This is Hutchins Foster.
I'm Hutchins Foster.
Hey.
And somewhere out there is Bethany Harrington. Want to give a big loud shout?
Hey, babe. Good to see you. So tonight what we're doing is because it has, y'all, it's been a week. Oh, you don't have a drink to drink.
I don't. What do I do?
So what we're doing is for Christmas last year, I got Hutch this amazing thing called a Bartesian, which is basically like a Keurig for booze.
True that.
So tonight we're drinking Sazeracs.
Well, that's one of the drinks. You don't know where
Sazeracs.
this is going. It might go
And we
many
put this
places.
in a machine.
So-
Hey, why don't you play what we actually are doing?
I'm gonna make my drink as I play you a video of what this whole thing is about. Here we go.
You
The
can see where we're
Bartesian.
the Bartesian.
Imagine making premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Introducing Bartesian. From the comfort of your own home, you can enjoy quality ingredients and the premium pours you'd expect from a cocktail lounge. Simply insert the capsule, select your strength, and enjoy.
That is what we're doing.
And in the process it took to do this, your commercial, it spat out my
A Sazerac.
So first
Cheers.
of all, cheers.
Hey.
Hello.
Mwah.
First time I
Now,
got
really,
this
this
today.
time, it's been a week. Mm.
So I have something to say that's not really under the "It's Been a Week" brand. It's
What's-
been a week has habitually been like stuff that's happened that's been really difficult.
Stuff that's happened that's been really difficult.
However,
Howsomever.
this week marked our 20th wedding anniversary.
Yo,
20.
We've been married for 20 years. We have been
20 years.
married for 20 years.
And we chose Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. We got married on
Why not,
Cinco
right?
de Mayo.
So we got married on Cinco de Mayo, and I think we've liked that wedding anniversary.
It's been really good for
We
us.
just think everyone's celebrating us. They're doing tequila shots, and we're going, hoo-hoo, they're celebrating us. How
They're
awesome
celebrating
is that?
us. So we went out and we had dinner
Mhm.
outdoors with friends, and it was great. Our friend Lindsay and Jamie. And we had oysters, a lot of oysters. And I got him a beautiful
He got me a bangle,
a bauble.
a bauble.
A bauble. I got him a bauble.
So I had never heard of green onyx before. That's what that is.
It's green onyx because I'm a good husband.
Because he's a really
I'm a
good
really-
husband. That was
Now,
awesome.
let me show you
That
what he
was-
got me.
Oh, good. Just show up. That look on your face?
Mhm. That's what look. I got that look on my face. That's what he got me. That's what he got me.
That's what you're holding in the midst of your hand right now is a
Mhm.
lot of
That's what I got. That's what it is. So anyway,
But to be fair,
to be fair,
there have been anniversaries where I get you something or you get me something. We're never really on the same page with the anniversary gift.
no, we're not. We're just not.
I'm thinking of the painting in the other room. That was an
That was
anniversary.
yeah.
That
So I got a lot
that
of good
was
stuff.
one.
We both we know.
So we get
After
skip
23 years
some
together,
years.
really, what else? There's not a lot you
But-
can still get each other.
Before you jump in, I think this is important too. So I am actually performing on Sunday with True Story. And so that's truestory.world, Bethany, at 6 p.m. And if you go to the site, weirdly enough, it says we performed last week, but the date was changed. It's actually this Sunday on Mother's Day
Mother's Day.
at 6 p.m. And I'm performing. And the story I am telling, I really should have the painting here. I think that would be kind of cool. It's about, I gave Michael a painting on our wedding day.
Yes, he did.
I gave him a
It's
painting.
beautiful.
It was a huge surprise. And so the story is about the shenanigans that went on to secretly get the painting. And but what are you doing? You're
I
playing
went to the wrong
I'm
thing.
listening to my voice on Michael's phone.
I know.
You can push pause now.
There we go.
There we
Sorry.
go.
We're still
And-
trying to figure this all out.
And so the story is about like all of this weird stuff that happened in me getting this painting and then presenting it to him at our wedding reception at the Biltmore Hotel.
Yes, we got
Which,
married
that
at
was
the
a snooty
Biltmore.
reception. But wait, before you, I know you want to jump on and talk, but this is important. This is important.
All right.
Like if I were to say the moment that sticks out the most for you at our wedding or our wedding reception, do you have a moment that is just like that? You know, that
Do you have a
sticks
moment
out?
that sticks out at our wedding reception besides I got really, really drunk?
But that
was
isn't a
fun.
moment.
That was that was a
And
long
it wasn't
moment.
fun. There was no sex that night. Trust me. No one tells me there's no sex on the wedding night. Anyone have sex on their wedding night? I want to know.
I want to know absolutely.
I bet Bethany
I
did.
think
Bethany
I
had
think
good
one of the
sex
best
on her
moments
wedding night. I'm
is
pretty sure.
walking down the aisle, looking at you, and our friend Michelle Duffy was singing
She was.
"Take My
Patty's-
Breath Away"
Ah, that was
by
a great
Tuck and
song.
Patty, and I loved it. Can I say hi to some people before we
No,
get going?
you have to ask me about memories. Well, you always jump in, but this is a conversation. And so we are up top having a conversation about a day that we just celebrated.
Yes.
20
So, what
years
was your
ago.
favorite moment of us getting married?
Well, I don't know that favorite moment is what I was going for. I was just saying something that popped out, right? That like you and your dress. But there were so many good. One, we had an awesome band. Like I danced an awful lot that day, which is really good.
We didn't get the band we wanted, which is called the Boogie Wonder Band,
No, we didn't get the Boogie Wonder band. They were too
but they were too expensive.
They were
But
across
we
the
had an
country.
amazing band.
We had the Go Big Daddy band. I don't
Big
even
Daddy
know if
band.
they're still out there,
If
but
they
they
are,
were
they're
a
fierce.
little bit tremendous, and they played all the songs you'd want to dance to. And it was even Greg Gunter and his walker was up on the dance floor. I mean, and what David, what's his face? He threw his cane down. And he's like, "I'm gonna dance."
Yeah,
Forget
people
this.
threw their walkers
Walkers
and canes down and
canes were
danced.
they
It was
danced at our wedding,
lovely. It was lovely.
and we had representation from both of our families there.
Very, very much so.
What was that? That was commentary.
Not everybody came to the gay
not
wedding.
everyone came. And this is the thing that I was thinking about. I'm not writing about this on for Sunday's piece, but I did think about this. And in growing up, as I did, there was always it was a special treat for the parents and the aunts and the uncles or the friends of family to throw parties all throughout the year for, the kids getting married. And my mom and dad did it for many people, including my siblings and friends, whatever. Not one person threw us a party.
We didn't get a goddamn
We
party
didn't get
from
a thing.
nobody.
And so what was kind of nice about that was that our wedding was truly us. There wasn't
It was all us.
anyone
It
over
was all
our
us.
shoulders saying, "Oh, you can't do that." There wasn't anyone saying, "Oh, no, you don't want that seating arrangement or these flowers."
We got to do everything ourselves.
It was all us. Good, bad, or indifferent, it was all us. Although I'll tell you, I hear more positive things about our wedding than not. And just to be a little political about the whole thing, in 2001, when we got married, it wasn't a legal marriage.
It wasn't legal. No one
No.
called it a marriage.
They kept going through those words.
And we're like, fuck you, it's a marriage.
It's a marriage. We're like spending all this money. We get to use the word marriage.
I know. All right. So,
Oh, wait, you always jump ahead.
I do.
But
Yes.
I want to live in. I wish I had. You know what? I wish I had a clip of was Dinah Washington singing "What a Difference a Day Makes."
She wasn't there,
She was not there.
but her voice was there.
That was our song, and our first dance was
What a
to
difference a
Dinah
day
Washington,
makes was our first song.
And I just want to live in that. I know you want to jump ahead, but just live there because it was an awesome moment. You and I dancing, it was just people applauding, and it was just it was this tremendous, tremendous moment. So
It was. I will give you that.
I thank
give you that.
you
I thank you for
for
marrying me.
creating the fabulous. But that was our first presentation.
And wedding.
Well, second, we had two weddings. We had to have the legal wedding.
All right, I want to say to people, hey, babe, thank you for being there. Tamara, what's up? Victoria Hoffman, well, she was at the second wedding because we had two weddings. We had two weddings,
Yes.
and it's crazy. Matthew Black is here. Let me look. Dion, hey, baby. Jan Abriola. Hey, hello, Marvin. Oh, gravel balloon face. Hello, darling. Rachel
Look at how
Source
many
is here.
friends we've had.
Fashion Cox,
since
what's
the wedding.
up, sister?
I want to meet Fashion Cox.
Oh, she's amazing. Dave Pyram is here.
Ooh.
Let's see. We have lovely, lovely people here. Thank you for just checking in and being a part of all of this. Let's get right to it
Okay,
because we have what?
I want you to say it now.
Okay, y'all. It's been a week.
Now you take a sip.
Take
Everyone,
a sip.
lift up
That's
your
if you
glass.
don't know. When I say it's been a week, take a sip. Have a little drink.
I have a clip. I want to show a clip.
We got to show y'all something first. Y'all ready? Here we go.
Oh, this. I don't know. I don't think. Well, I'm just jumping in.
Just do it.
Well, Tucker Carlson took time off from badgering strangers in parks and bouncy houses to demand that they show him their children's unmasked faces to refer to moi as the race lady. The race lady. Why would he call me that? I mean, I used to run track in high school, but I mean, honestly, I'm not that fast. So what else could it be? What else could it be?
Watch The Race Lady on MSNBC. Harvard educated but totally oppressed and absurdly racist claims, says the race lady from Harvard. Joy Reid, the race lady over at MSNBC. Here's the race lady from MSNBC finally putting her Harvard degree to work. Oh, wait a second, Harvard educated race lady? Now you're really confusing us. Well, Joy Reid, the race lady over on MSNBC, took a quick break from haranguing Whitey yesterday.
Did he say Whitey? Oh, honey, Tuckums. Is this really about me fixating on race, or is it about you fixating on race?
Oh,
she called him Tuckums.
Tuckums.
She
Honey.
went for that Hormel dinner. Swanson dinner money.
Yeah, he's Swanson.
He's Swanson
fish sticks.
dinner.
He's Swanson fish
She
sticks.
went right for the fish
He
sticks
went
and
to
said,
the fish stick jugular,
and
if I
said
may.
to
and
him,
said to him,
Tuckums, honey. I have never been happier to be black than to watch Joy Reid read him to filth. It was the most thing.
And I have to say this. Was it just me, or did he make the word Harvard? Was he a little bitter that he didn't go to Harvard? You know,
He did not go to an Ivy League school.
He did not go to an Ivy League. So since he doesn't have the education, he has to bash Joy Reid's education. That was
He kept bashing that.
Harvard. I am so glad.
As Ron
she
Botita
called him
says,
out.
he's a master baiter.
Oh,
He's trying to bait some shit. And it's the way that he kept saying,
No, it was very
race lady
attacking,
and had to comment on this beautiful black queen's education. It's like, okay, it's just all these dog whistle. I'm like, she coming for your ass. And
also,
she
there's
came
nothing subtle
and
about
she
that
snatched
racism.
it, David C. Nichols. She snatched
it.
the ass.
She certainly did.
Tuckums.
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 Honey.
Tuckums. In fact, that's all I can say now. It's like every time I see a white person acting out, listen here, Tuckums. Tuckums.
I have to say, so, douche of the week, nominee number 1.
Douche of the week, nominee of the one is. Are you not going to play the banner for douche? We'll do that later.
We'll do
the douche.
I
of the
don't
week
have
later.
all the ins and outs of this.
So
but it'll happen.
But Tucker
later.
Carlson, baby,
he's nominee.
You are just like,
Never.
how are you such?
You know
a
what the
douche?
problem is? You get people like Tucker Carlson and Meghan McCain. They seem to be on, or Candace Owens, and they just seem to be on almost every single.
Candace Cain will be talking about a little bit later.
In a very positive.
In a
way.
very, very positive way.
Actually, I forgot because I can't. Never. We're not going to go there quite yet. We'll go
But
back
yes,
there.
so that was
That
one
was
of the
a-
great moments of the week for me.
That
The reading.
was really tremendous. Actually, watching her do that, it made me very happy. Also, you and I are Joy Reid fans,
Very much so.
and so
We're actually really good friends of her sister,
sister
June
who
Carroll.
is that?
June Carroll.
June Carroll.
Um,
Who's awesome.
Now let's move to something even worse. Can we move to something even worse?
Worse than Tucker Carlson.
Well, okay. I don't know if it's like if we're just going straight across or we're moving. I think we're moving up a little bit because these two people are worse.
Go ahead, do it. I'm
All right,
jumping in
so
with you.
Marjorie Taylor Greene
Oh,
and
just
Matt
stop.
Gaetz.
We just have to let that land. Marjorie Taylor Greene. It just, you know what I mean?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And then the dynamic duel also includes
Matt Gaetz.
just
Together,
there's two
at
of
last,
them.
on
The
tour.
two of them together. I mean, one of them is a news story. The other is a news story. And together it's just like this bizarre.
It's like they're the Nazi Hall & Oates.
Oh, there we go. That was
It
beautiful.
really is. They're the
Hashtag Nazi
Hall
Hall.
& Oates.
I agree with that 100%.
So they are doing.
They're going out
a
on tour.
They're on tour. It's a bus and truck.
They're like, you have a horrible message. I have a horrible message.
Let's get together.
Let's get
together like shamalama ding a ding a booga. I can't sing all the real lyrics because what we found out by being on StreamYard, if you sing or play something that is copyrighted, they'll stop it. They'll like take it off.
Oh, I didn't
so
know that.
we have to. So I can't say we go together like bing ba da ba doo ba da. I can do that, but I can't do the other thing.
So you can.
Is that crazy?
You can allude to, but not downright.
I know. You have to say it.
So we couldn't sing "What a Difference a Day Makes" by Dinah Washington.
No, we can't do that.
Okay.
We can't. It's crazy.
Just imagine us. First dance.
Imagine it. First
Large.
dance.
Yeah.
But okay,
Once
so
again,
they're
I'm
going
doing the glasses thing. Which
No.
way is fixing that?
That's
Okay,
not
go ahead.
fixing it.
So let's talk about the tour. This thing they're doing. The America First Tour.
America First Tour.
America
Let me
First
remind
Tour.
you of something.
Let's remind you.
The KKK.
Who?
When the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, when they would have these large rallies, they would call it America First. That would be emblazoned on their logos, America First.
Yeah.
That was what the Ku Klux Klan did, the KKK. So they decided they're going on tour, calling it the America First Tour.
And they're
so right away, they're telling you exactly what it is they're saying. They're telling you exactly what they are saying.
I'm reading from a page now, but their plan is to attack Democrats that they call rhinos. What is that for again? RINO?
All right, Republicans in name only.
Name only. But, I see. And they call out Republicans they deem as insufficiently loyal to former Donald Trump. So then they can call out like Liz Cheney, for example. They can call out anyone that doesn't follow their ideology, and they go to stops that are just surrounded by their acolytes, and they just spout horrific things that I think these people must be cheering at.
They're cheering. They are cheering, and they're going off their rockers. Now, they're at the villages in Florida. Now, for those of you who know what the villages are, it's where all the old
village
folks
in West Manhattan is.
Yes. But these are this is a retirement village. This is where everyone goes to retire. And so they're retiring there. So they're all in their like 70s and 80s.
Right.
And it's a huge group of folk. And I would say 99.8% white. And there are some Republicans there, and it's kind of crazy and weird. There's some Democrats there as well, but they are just chomping at the bit to bring back slavery in the villages, basically.
And the one thing that you said that really bothered me, you said that Marjorie Taylor Greene got her hugest applause when she said there are only two races.
No, there are only two sexes.
Two sexes.
She says there are only two sexes, and everyone stood up and applauded.
In the villages, then.
In the villages.
Oh, that's horrible.
And it's just, you're watching these people. But the thing that gets me is that, okay, all right. So, crazy QAnon quackpot, Marjorie Taylor Greene, wants to go on tour with Matt Gaetz. Now, the big thing about QAnon is they say that they are against child trafficking, child pornography, and that the Democrats are basically using children to bleed
and feed
off of.
That's what they say.
All right. So,
and
that there are underground sex rings that the Democrats have. That's where Pizzagate came from, that Hillary Clinton was running an underground child pornography ring and selling white children on the black market.
Why can't it be black children on the white market?
Because that's racist.
That's racist. And then, of course, she pairs up with Matt Gaetz, who has a couple of charges possibly coming his way, possibly child trafficking,
possibly child trafficking a 17-year-old over state line, paying for sex.
I mean, it's amazing how they'll bend their belief to, well, we'll make it fit. It
Barbara Haas, everything is just like they're twisting everything to fit this in. There was a poll today taken among Republicans that 70% of the 5,000 Republicans that were on this poll.
I don't know where we're going. Go.
70% said that the election was rigged and that Joe Biden didn't win. most of these people were QAnon believers. So that's where
So
we
are
are
you saying
country.
QAnon is growing? Is that what
QAnon is actually growing.
That's,
Hey, Liz Ross just posted something about True Story.
okay.
I love it. Thank you, Lizzie.
Thank you, Lizzie.
So there's so many crazy things out there, but
So I'm going to follow this up with douche of the week 2. It's a duo. It's the dynamic duo of Marjorie Taylor Greene and of Matt Gaetz.
y'all, can y'all come get y'all white cousins, please?
Jiminy.
Come get y'all white cousins.
I bragged about the Justice Department last week, and we're going to do just a tiny one. They keep doing stuff. How dare you, Merrick Garland, actually be effective?
I know.
Bill Barr did something totally different. He was like, no, I'm just going to do stuff for Donald Trump. I'm not going to do stuff for the people. And Merrick Garland goes, I don't think I'm doing it that way. I think I'm working for the American people here. So
Your job, doing his job.
he's doing his job. So Derek Chauvin and the 3 other cops are looking at some more. I mean,
They were indicted.
They're indicted by the Justice.
And more counts against Derek Chauvin.
It's
Holding a 14-year-old down.
Oh, that's it. That's right. There was goes back to 20. What was it? Like maybe 3 years ago or something, 4 years ago. And he evidently did the same thing he did to George Floyd to a 14-year-old. The 14-year-old did not die, but handcuffed on the ground on his stomach, knee on the neck, and
Hit him in the head with a flashlight.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So charges. I mean, they're going back to really get all the charges on Chauvin, and I think that's awesome. And then the other thing that the Justice Department did, they are working towards getting rid of ghost guns, which I didn't know what a ghost gun was. But those are those.
I know a ghost pepper. That's what I know.
He knows a ghost pepper. So the ghost guns are those gun kits. And the problem with the gun kits is there are no serial numbers on them, and it's really easy to buy, so you don't need any background check. You know, I'm on a gun kit. So you can have all the charges, whatever, and you can go get a new gun because you can buy one of these ghost guns. And so they're trying to create new laws that say if you get a ghost gun, there has to be a background check, and they're trying to get the manufacturers to put on serial numbers because they need to, when they're violent crimes, they need to be able to track these weapons.
Yep.
So
and by the way, Derek Chauvin, as Matthew Black said, 17 minutes on the back of this 14-year-old. 14-year-old.
It was that is just disgusting. I mean, the fact that he's been doing this for years. I mean, that truly is an example of a bad cop. All right, so we have a guest.
We have some guests that we want to talk to tonight.
So let me do this real quick.
We're going to set this up for you. Go, husband.
So I saw that this is last week that Oprah was doing an interview with, I keep doing this, my glasses get worse. I can't even make this work. But Oprah was doing an interview with Elliot Page. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's on Apple Plus. And what I just want to give my impression, and you
Please
as well. What I was taken by, it's the first interview Elliot Page has done about being openly trans. And he was very shaky, a little
at the beginning,
yes. A little uncertain, and you could see also his emotion was exceptionally full. Like you could see he's living in the moment and trying to get through this, and it must be an amazingly difficult thing to do this on the public stage. He's not allowed to be proud. Well, he chose to come out for various reasons, but then also it must be difficult. But ultimately, at the end of the interview, I felt like, he was my son, and I couldn't have been more proud. I thought he did a tremendous job. I thought it was extremely brave.
Look at that. I got goosebumps.
It really, and so I said to Michael, I said, we have to do an episode that if it's not all about trans issues, we need to bring that on board, because as I did research this week, I'm appalled at so much of the stuff that is going on in regards to laws that are trying to be created in the trans sports and all the issues surrounding that. And we have some more stuff coming up later about that. But we have a guest.
We have some guests. But first I want to show my shirt.
Oh.
And I want to remind people of this.
Oh, I should have worn mine. I had the same shirt. We could have been twinsies.
All right. Understand it. Recognize it. Honor that.
Yes.
Understand that. All right. So, Cece, can you hear me?
Well, we can bring her on.
All right, no. I want to.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Cece Suazo, who just got up,
who's leaving
left the screen, is a incredible performer, writer, activist. A lot of things has happened this week within the trans community, and yes, Dion, I get a new shirt every week. And so Cece just walked away, and I was about to introduce.
We're about to put her on. Well, here we can keep talking.
We'll just keep talking, and I have to tell you, we have never actually met in person, but we've had conversations. No, we've had conversations online and a phone conversation today. And when I say to you that this amazing human being is walking the face of this earth and providing this energy and joy within a trans experience, that I just could not be happier to be able to have this person be on the show. But hey, Adam Phelan. But they're back.
So I also have the Elliot Page clip if we want to lead off that first.
We're going to lead off that, and then we're going to bring CC.
All right, so this is part of the Oprah conversation, which I think is a great lead into CC. So let's see. There we go.
Why did you decide to talk about your top surgery in Time magazine?
I wanted to talk about it for a couple of reasons. I wanted to share with people just how much it has changed my life. And I want people to know that not only has it, been life-changing for me, I do believe it's life-saving. And it's the case for so many people. And because there is such an attack on trans healthcare right now, when already there's such lack of access, or trans people who don't even want to go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. What you are hearing from certain lawmakers are actual, complete and utter, they're lies in terms of what they're saying about the healthcare. And the reality of the healthcare is that it's supported by medical institutions and it saves lives. And if you are going to do this, and if you are also not going to allow trans kids to play sports, children will die. And it really is that simple.
There's CC. Hey, CC.
Thank you for having me. I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. Right now, your mouth and words aren't syncing up right now, but we're going to give you space to speak. Can you let everyone know who you are right now?
Hi, I'm actress, playwright, activist, Cece Suazo.
Oh, there's so much more about you than just those things, though. Come on now, Mama.
I don't really talk. I really don't, like to put my resume out there. So I just always tell people, hey, just follow me, on social media. So
CC, you and I have never met, but I would just want to thank you for being one of our very first guests on this show. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Especially in this topic that's so crazy important.
Mm-hmm.
I was very struck by Elliot's this clip we just played, and her talking about him talking about it. Sorry, about like all the issues that are happening, the laws and the issues with trans in sports. Does anything resonate with you in regards to that?
Oh God, it's so much that resonates. A lot of it that's happening, quite frankly, is ridiculous. It outrages me, and I feel like right now is the time. It's a call of action for the community.
It's definitely a call of action, and one of the reasons why I knew that I wanted you here, because we have a lot of cis heteronormative folks that watch our show and who don't have even really any access to meet anyone trans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because, there are certain organizations and movements that want to paint trans people as the boogeyman, as the evil source. And, people will now look at you and go, that is not the boogeyman. That is not something scary. That is a
Right.
beautiful human being. You know, that's a beautiful Black queen right there that needs to be honored as opposed to be something made afraid of. You know, and so I really want people, to like hear your story. And plus this week, it was, you lost someone, we all lost someone that was very important in the trans community. And do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. So a little bit about myself. Born and raised in New York, a child from immigrant parents that were Cuban and Honduran. Both of my parents. My mom was birth mother was Cuban and Honduran. My dad was Honduran. Of course, I came from a broken home. So being the middle child and also being a twin, so growing up in a single household and then expressing who you want to be. This is who you are. This is how you feel on the inside. It wasn't like a temporary phase. It wasn't something that, okay, your child will get over. And then growing up in the 80s, and she not understanding and having clarity, I was forced to be told that I had to leave home at a young age, So of course I had to fend for myself in the streets of New York. And, I remember the first places that I would go to was the Greenwich Village and Harlem. And of course I would meet other community members, but then I kept saying to myself, are there people that exist like myself out there that I could relate to? And sure enough, I met members of the House of La Beja, the iconic House of La Beja.
Sure, that's awesome.
And of course, Pepper, the icon Pepper, is my grandmother. And she taught me a lot of things that I carry to this day. She always taught me the power of the words that you choose, and how to express them, because I was a child that was very quiet. I didn't speak. I was too scared to speak. I spoke when spoken to, and then, I was initially adopted by a beautiful family here in Los Angeles. They actually, they come from the music business. And so I got to leave from California and go back to my hometown roots of New York. But this time I was now in the Hamptons in Long Island because, that's where we lived. And, she had 5 kids of her own. She's a medical professional, but she was a former Aretha Franklin backup singer.
Oh, wow.
And my stepdad and his brothers are the Gap Band, Charlie Wilson and them. So I grew up in a household with a lot of musical genes, but also becoming into my shell as the woman that I knew I could become. And, my adoptive mother was always supportive of everything that I went through in life. It wasn't easy. Of course, I got into a lot of, areas that I'm not proud of, but I do discuss them to people. I've been to jail. I've been to prison. I've been homeless. I had to do sex work. I had to do a lot of things to survive because I was still searching. I was searching about my identity and who I was and what my mission here was to do on this earth. Mm-hmm. And, I finally found my niche. And I just kept saying, I don't want to do music. It seemed like everybody in the entire family is in music. Everybody's either a writer or singer, and it was just this passion of acting. Acting was a way for me to escape my pain, and I remember doing a lot of New York theater, and I kept saying, no, I want to come to LA. I want to be a big star, because I felt like, to be honest with you, I was so confident that I was a triple threat. And I felt like every time I walk into an audition room, the kids would spread each side. The kids would be like, oh, okay, Whitney Houston is here. Mikhail Baryshnikov is here, all in one body.
Yeah.
And I just kept saying, it's not fun no more. I feel like when I walk into the auditions, I don't feel like there's competition for me. I feel like, okay, they want a child of color. Of course, I know I'm going to solidify and get this booking, So parts of me were like, okay, let me travel out west now and see what opportunities. And one of the first opportunities that I received was going to the center on Santa Monica Boulevard in La Brea, where Celebrations Theater Old Home was at. It was the LGBT youth center, and I was a client in there. And they said, "Oh, you're kind of snappy. You like to read. You're comical." And at the time, Ellen DeGeneres was doing classes next door to you got with Celebration Theater. And so I went ahead and I auditioned and I got into the class. And it was so funny because I was like, you live in a Covenant House, because during that time I lived in the Covenant House, Hollywood. And so of course they had a curfew. So it was not that many things I was able to do. And, my next opportunity coming out of that Ellen DeGeneres was working with Willpower to Youth, the Shakespeare Festival of Los Angeles. It's so funny because when I auditioned, Ben Donenberg, the associate director over there, during my audition says, "You have this Brooklyn accent." And I'm like, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. And what am I really reading? And he was like, Shakespeare. I've never tackled Shakespeare. But what was so comical was that a lot of people didn't know that I used to go to Juilliard pre-college, fresh out of high school. So I took the courses in the pre-college. And once I found out that I couldn't take any jobs in the industry and I had to solely focus on my studies in the school, I just said, deuces, I'm gone. You ain't gonna ever see me back in this school. You kids are snobby anyway. So I did Julius Caesar, Shakespeare Festival, LA, and Ben Donenberg says, "Hey, you probably may want to go back to Juilliard. I'm on the board. So if you just need me, I'm here for you." And I just kept pursuing my career, but I really wasn't confident. I think once I started to get into my shell and transitioning, the confidence just went out the door. And of course, I went into hiding. I had to go into hiding, years into hiding, because I felt embarrassed. I felt embarrassed. Even though my family was not embarrassed, I was embarrassed of myself. So I went into hiding and, finding who I was. And then in 2014, I just said, okay, I got the acting bug again. Let me audition for something. And then I auditioned for this play that was written by Carla Pridgeon, titled Incongruent, that played at New York Theater Workshop. It also starred Dominique Jackson, who plays Electra on Pose. So, I was like, okay, I'm confident. And then I also booked a cis role. I was playing a lesbian in a biracial relationship. So
come on now.
So that was exciting. It was hard during rehearsals because of the intimacy that I had with the fellow actress. So it was like, you sure you really want to do this? But hey, if you can make it believable on stage, hey, it's a believable part of the story, And from there, I just kept on. I kept on and said, hey, and then in 2018, I got that Advocate Award and Advocate Magazine as one of their pioneers and honorees, and just kept it moving. And I've always had the writing. People always said, you have so many stories from the time era of Paris is Burning. I was from that time era of Paris is Burning, and it was so great to have catch up moment with Jenny Livingston, who, made Paris is Burning in 2016 when she came to see me in Street Children. And she was just so amazed because, everybody's dead and gone from that documentary. So many of them.
So many of us are gone from that era.
Mhm.
You know, time, and we lost so many ancestors. We have so many new ancestors that we know, but it's great having the ancestors to look over us, but we also miss those stories, we miss those connections, we miss having that touch of the hand of that person guiding younger queers through, you know, particularly Black and brown queer folk, you know.
Right.
I want to talk about something real quick with what happened, and because your story is so empowering and is so inspirational. There are people who are on the pages who are like literally saying on my Facebook page, who are going, I need them to come talk to my class. Cece needs to come and do this. Cece needs to do this. And you and I are looking at collaborations of things that we're hoping to do very soon. I'm excited.
Me too.
And but I want to talk about one thing that happened this week, that you lost a very good friend and mentor. And what we can do, those of us who are watching this right now, what we can do to sort of help that situation, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, Jahira Dialto was an amazing spirit that was just taken from us so suddenly behind a brutal murder, something that disgusts me. I have not been able to sleep behind this. She was hosting a family in need, a family that was basically homeless with 2 young children. And never in a million years, any of us would have thought that the husband would take her life. These murders last year alone, 44 people. Yeah. We're just in the middle. We're not even in the middle of the year. And she's been the 21st person in 2021. This is a call to action. This is a call to action to allies to please step up. Just don't like posts. If you can share them with networks, please share them. If you can donate any amount, that would be great, because you're saving.
What are the places you would recommend donating to?
Skid Row Trans Trust Fund, the Oprah Project, the Road Project.
I'm going to ask you to repeat those again. I'm going to ask you to repeat those again slower, because Bethany, who is our line producer, is going to try to find those, but she's going to need to hear them a little slower to find them so she can put them in the chats.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, I'm with Skid Row Black Trans Trust. So that's an organization that I started here in LA, that we go to Tent City downtown. And I don't know if people are aware, but 73% of their population are POC, TGNC. They come from the community, and they live in the tents, or they live in the SROs. They don't have access to essential needs when you live in the tents. When you go down Skid Row, I'm not going to say it's deplorable, because, you know, that's just their way of living down there. And a lot of them are amazing people when you get to talk to them. Everyone doesn't have mental health issues down there. Some of them are down there just because that's just their only means of survival and living. And a lot of them feel safe down there. A lot of the ladies and men that live down there have been discriminated against services, have been misgendered, have been shot. I know a few that's been shot. I know a few that's been killed, murdered senselessly. And this is just my call of action. To me, it's ridiculous. Every year the numbers spike.
I don't mean to interrupt. Do you have a website that we can post?
Or a Cash App or something, because Bethany's having a hard time finding it, and she wants to make sure that it's that people are sending money to the right place.
Yes. The PayPal is Bobo's Casting. So that's BOBOS casting@gmail.com. That's all one word. Bobo's Casting. Yes. And for it's dollars for Cash App, it's $ Skid Row Black Trans for Cash App. So that's how people can donate. We raised over 4,500 last summer, and we distributed all the essential needs and merchandise to the women down there. We also actually were able to put 3 women up in hotels for the entire week, so they can get services. This year, I am trying to link with Uber and Lyft, so these ladies can have rides, free rides provided from us, so they can get to their appointments for housing, medical needs. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing for the community. I'm very fortunate, to be able to do this. Not being a fortunate child in my earlier years and having to fend for myself, I didn't have these services around. When I was 12, 13, I didn't know who to go to. And all I relied on was my house members, and they took very good care of me. Those that are still here, that's in the house of La Beja. So.
We have another person we have to bring on soon, but can I say thank you very much for being here. I just want to tell people, Hutch and I donated today to boboscasting@gmail.com, and that was through PayPal. I think we did PayPal. Yeah, PayPal. But also, if you have Cash App, $ Skid Row Black Trans. And please, if you have it, just send a little something. If it's $3, $4, $5, it doesn't.
You are doing such important work.
Cece, we want to thank you so much for being here.
And for being, being an ancestor.
Being an ancestor.
I mean, that is tremendous. So,
are doing the work of the ancestors who are no longer here, who are not here to do that work for themselves. Thank you so much. I can't wait to have more conversations with you and create what we are planning on creating.
Yes.
This is stuff I don't know.
We're about to start some shit right now. All right.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
That was so uplifting and so amazing and wonderful.
That was a lot.
That was
I was
lot.
So
and I hope
impressed.
that
this is the type of thing. We're looking at all these stories on. I think of Pose when I was watching CC. I thought of Laverne Cox. I thought of Orange Is the New Black. I thought of all these people that we're beginning to see in a more visible way of all these trans people, and this is awesome. And Cece is an interesting amalgam. She's an artist, but she's also lived.
It's a lived experience.
I mean,
there's a lived
the
experience
house of
there.
La Beja, for goodness sake.
Okay, first of all,
Paris is Burning.
If you've not seen Paris is Burning, you need to watch it ASAP. ASAP. Something else and that's a movie from,
ages ago.
But it's still so relevant right now.
This is
so freaking
This is
relevant.
another piece of homework. Write this down.
Write it down. Write it down.
It's on Netflix now. Disclosure. Write that down. It is a history of trans individuals in film, and it goes back to the silence. And it deals with the misuse of trans people in films. It then deals with it mentioned, Paris is Burning is very much a part of it. And then it also then goes up to something like Pose. Like it goes from way back then to where we are now. And it is absolutely fascinating because you learn how some of our judging, where we were and what we've thought, there was the trans is the person that's mentally ill. The trans is the person that's getting killed all the time. The trans that is the person that is the psychopath, the killer.
You have to watch it.
And you watch beat by beat, decade through decade, where we are and how we see, and then we watch the entertainment and then equate it to real life.
Right.
And I found it absolutely fascinating.
We have to move past this of just a hair, simply because we have someone else coming.
We have another, okay.
But we want to set this up. We want to talk about. You want to talk about the anti-trans laws that have been, or people are.
Well, one thing that Elliot Page talked about, and not in the clip that I showed, but he was very clear that there are so many anti-trans laws that are trying to be enacted in the various states. Some of them are passing, and they are affecting greatly trans youth. It's almost like the lawmakers are saying, well, I don't know that we can do anything about the trans adults, but we could go after trans youth. And so they're kind of almost illogically in my head, they're targeting trans youth in many of these laws. And just to give you a couple of numbers that I came across, that we have 30 states have proposed more than 150 laws.
I want to move this up here so you don't have to look.
I don't have to look over and make it ugly. I mean, think about that though. 30 states on the docket have 115 laws. Now, this is that wedge issue, guys. This is that thing that we've seen, well, not just Republicans, but in this case, Republicans do. It's they focus on the wedge issue because they don't really have anything else they can argue. So right now, being anti-trans youth is something they're actively going after, and they're throwing a bunch of people under the bus. And the thing that I found interesting and I did not know of, and it was another clip I was going to show of that interview, but the Elliot Page Oprah interview, but wasn't able to get. But it's that the laws going against trans youth end up interrupting medical procedures and treatments that they are being given. And so there's states like Arkansas, for example, that just went, guess what? No more. So you have trans youth in the middle of their treatment. They are going through whatever, it's their blockers, there's hormone treatments, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and doctors are forbidden by law.
Or they can be charged
and taken to jail. They are forbidden by law to follow up on their patients and give them the treatment.
That is where we are, y'all.
And that's where we are. And that leads us to our next guest.
So our next guest is a dear, wonderful friend of mine who I just adore. I just want to kiss her face when I see her in person because it's been way too damn long. We're just going to bring this person on. You set it up, baby. This is my
just pushed this button.
Dear, amazing friend, Stacey Reed Payton.
I'm going to give applause. That didn't work. I got to
press the
Add
button.
to the stream.
Hello, Cassidy.
We have a choice. We either do it this way or this way. What do we like?
think that's the way.
Yeah, because we're too wide.
Too wide.
You're not.
How dare you call me too wide? All right, so Stacey Reed Payton.
I'm going to say hello.
I'll say hello first.
I've never met you.
I know.
Stacey.
Hi.
I'm hot.
I know, right? I think she knows who you are. She's seen you 100 times.
Well, I have to be proper.
So
I was raised right.
So Stacey is a dear friend of mine and a theater aficionado, and sits on boards and
aficionado. Did you like become
Castilian?
I need ice. Are you drinking, Stacey? Because we're drinking.
Yeah. I'm having my single lady rosé.
I love it. All right. So the reason I asked Stacey to be on here, first of all, we've talked about this before on our show. Our child Maxwell Pearl has came out as non-binary, and so these things, all these issues have become much more important for us. But Stacey, I'm gonna let you tell your story about why I asked you to be here tonight.
Okay. My son Carter, who's 12, is transgender. From the age of 3, he always expressed his gender as male. And it was never a question for me of supporting him in that. I actually had to kind of recover and fix my eyes from listening to Cece's story of not having that kind of support. Broke my heart as a parent to deny that innate part of my child that is his true self. And so in November of November 2019, he wanted to be Carter and change pronouns just at home. I think he was feeling a little hesitant about coming out at school, and wanted to wait until the end of 5th grade to fully come out. So it was extraordinary. I felt like we kind of had this very special thing as a family of seeing him sort of come alive in this magnificent way. And then he officially came out in May of last year. And I feel like that this whole year we've been in this kind of very safe COVID cocoon.
Oh, that, yeah.
He's fully supported and accepted, and with distance learning, he's fully accepted as Carter online. And I wish, because we've been in this cocoon, people haven't seen this awakening in my child, which I'm going to get emotional. It's just been, I feel like it was almost like he was in a cage. And once he was out of that cage and could live as his true self, he became sillier. He's more loving. He's just happier. And so I wish people could see that in especially trans kids, what having that support and encouragement can do to their life and their mental health. And the fact that there are all of these anti-trans bills that are literally attacking the trans community, it's heartbreaking for me, because they just don't know the magnificence that can come out in a child who isn't put in that cage.
Mm-hmm.
And to see all of these trans kids that are, you know, they're speaking to all of these different state legislators, just sort of begging to not be made less than.
Sure.
And to be seen.
To be seen.
And when I look at my son, I hate that there's so many kids out there that aren't being seen and aren't being allowed out of their cage. And what really concerns me the most about all of this is that, you know, there's an innate realistic fear, I think, with your child of being different and being accepted and supportive and what they may encounter on this life path of being their true self. And I don't want all of these things that are now coming out in legislation to make parents or kids fearful to not be who they are. See all of this in the news of, you know, if I am my true self, then I have to quit the tennis team or the dance team or whatever is happening. It's going to make people hide. And that's the worst possible thing for a child to feel, that they have to hide. You know, and so that it really concerns me. I mean, I thank God every day that I live in California and I don't have to deal with all that nonsense for my child. But it just breaks my heart for parents that, like we were talking about earlier, like they may have to move or go to the black market to support their kid. And it just should not be like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, like Hutch, you said it great on the phone today. It's barbaric. It's absolutely barbaric.
It's barbaric. And the sad part is that, you know, as we all know, I'm not a religious person. I am one of the biggest atheists you could possibly imagine. But all of this is couched in religion.
Yeah.
We keep talking about, people say, oh, religion is based in love. Fuck no, it's not.
No.
It's based in judgment and fear. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And if you think, you know, if you look at your religion as you know, if you truly believe in the tenets of religion and you believe in the love and acceptance of all that, more power on you. You know, I'm here to support you 100%. But once it turns into the other bullshit, you know what? Get the fuck out.
But here's the thing that I find very interesting in this whole equation of all these laws being made, and that is PBS did a poll, and the poll confirmed that 70% of Americans are not for anti-trans legislation. 70%. That's a huge amount of Americans. That's not just Democrats.
Yeah.
So the fact that then these lawmakers are going, well, but we know better, or whatever they're doing, they have their agendas, they have their religion, or whatever they have that's making the need go in that direction. I was actually shocked at that number when I read it. Were you? I mean, does that shock you, Stacey?
Well, it does shock me. It gives me a little hope,
You know, it totally gives me hope. I agree with that.
that there's not as much narrow-mindedness as all of these politicians have.
Drinks on this side.
I need an old fashioned now.
Oh,
Artesian.
oh, that's my favorite. I'm jealous.
Hi, Bubba.
Oh, here, say
hey,
hello.
Say
Come
hi,
in.
buddy.
Hello.
Hi, Bash.
Here's
Yeah.
Johnny.
So
Okay, my
so,
son is
here's the
with
deal.
Johnny.
Wait, come in. So we
All right.
had to close the door on you. Cece was talking earlier, and she was being very poignant and very real. And we needed her to have the moment, and it couldn't be about you.
Yeah.
in
So
that
you need to
moment.
know that.
Okay.
But
But
okay.
okay, what do you want to say to people? Do you want to say hi?
Hello.
Yeah.
This is Sebastian. For those of you who don't know, I think everyone.
Hey,
knows
Jeffrey
Sebastian.
Morin. I'm glad you're here. And it's late. But one of the things that for me,
Say old fashioned, please.
old fashioned, please.
There we go. Bye. Here's Johnny.
I know. I think one of the things is
Back to you, Jim.
there are it's this whole this bill that is like the Bartesians getting
There
to me.
was some alcohol.
Bartesians getting to me.
Wait, talk to
Okay,
me.
I need to catch up then. Hold on.
Girl, you know, Bethany posted about your son at home.
Oh, she did? Oh, I can't see it.
yeah.
I'm not on my Facebook.
All right, so no, these
Oh, look at
the
what's
trans laws.
Look, David C. Nichols. He's in Kansas. It's all around us. Truly inhumane, and the Christian right is neither Christian nor right. Right? No, entirely.
But it's like, you know, we're talking about these bills that are going against trans athletes, and without
they're
using
going,
any science,
and Stacey,
they're just going.
They're going against parents of trans kids. You, as a parent, for supporting your trans kid, could go to jail if you were not in California.
I know.
Insane.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
I'm appalled.
I know.
I'm appalled. You know, because I don't know what my child's journey is going to be. I don't know, because it's fluid.
Yeah.
Like we all are. Anyone who watches this on YouTube Live, we're all fluid. You might say, I'm strictly a heterosexual male and I will never look at another man. Guess what? That right man with the right hair and the right eyes and the right lips walks in the room. You don't look.
Biceps.
Yeah.
But we are so taught to like, this is what we're supposed to do. Boys like girls, girls like boys. There's only boys, there's only girls.
I want to ask
No.
a question of the parents.
All right, go.
Stacey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you have this? This goes back. I'm taking Oprah's words, but did you have an aha moment when you went, "Oh, Carter really is on this path"? Did you have that moment where it hit you, or was it always just sort of evident in some way?
You know, there wasn't a moment because, like I said, since he was 3, we knew he wasn't like the stereotypical girl.
Right.
But he, at the time, seemed very comfortable of being just who he was. Like, he was a girl, but didn't fit into that narrative of what society expects a girl to be. And like, sometimes we would go out and he always wore, his Spider-Man hoodie or, had his hair up. And sometimes at restaurants, people see a Spider-Man hoodie and they're like, okay, what does he want to eat? And he would always say, I'm a girl. And so there was never like this real moment. It wasn't like from the age of 2, he was saying, I'm a boy, which I know happens a lot with trans kids. What happened was in 5th grade, another child came out as transgender at school. And he came home and was telling me the story of Jack was now Jackie. And he was like, Mommy, that's me. That's me. I'm like Jackie.
Oh my God.
And we ended up having this amazing, beautiful talk about what it means to be transgender and all of that. And it was funny, he said, because we had a neighbor, a little boy who always wore princess dresses, and my kids thought it was a girl. and I bought the book I Am Jazz because they were very little, and I wanted to just kind of explain, you know, what that means. And it was all about acceptance and love. And so when we started this talk, Carter said, he goes, I never knew what transgender meant. And I said, well, we read that book, you know, that I was trying to kind of show you about that in the book. And he said, I thought when you were transgender, it was the doctor made a mistake. And when you were born, they thought you were one gender and you're really the other, and that the doctor had made a mistake. And I said, yeah, that's what it is. Like, you know, your private parts may have been biologically a girl, but that's not who you were. And so the doctor made a mistake. But in his mind, it was very different. It was more of like a medical diagnosis. Like you take your kid at 10 years old to the doctor and they go, oh, he's a boy. Sorry, we screwed up 10 years ago, which is what it is. But in his mind, he thought a doctor kind of had to say he was a boy. And that's when I went, oh, like if he had known what this was at 5 years old, we may have had a whole different story. But he just wasn't, you know, and I felt like he was so comfortable just being who he was at the time that I didn't go deeper into that with him, which I wish I had, because then maybe he wouldn't have been caged for so long, you know? So that's been a journey for me as his mom to help him navigate all of this.
But I don't want you can't put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
We know that. You can't do that because I know you. You and I have had many conversations and for years.
Yeah.
And you are one of the most loving, giving people. And I know for a fact that if that was an even inkling, you would have done everything you could for your child.
Yes.
We would do everything we can for our children.
Yeah.
And are trying to do all that for our children.
Right.
And you know, I'm just saying to you, you know, your strength to come here. You know, there might be several thousand people who watch this. No, there might be like 500 or 600 people who like catch this, which is fantastic.
32
or 30. But your story is going to resonate with one of them. And that's going to give them strength. And there are a lot of people who wouldn't do that, who don't have that strength and that inner courage to tell the story you just told about your child.
Yeah.
And that, you and fucking Cece telling your truths tonight.
Oh, very tremendous.
And there are people who are saying in this, who are just saying, is there a dry eye out here? Because, you know, and the reason we really want to do this is because there are people who don't know the true stories of what it's like either to be trans, to be in a trans situation, or to be raising children who are trans.
Yeah.
And that,
I would like to add to that. If you don't
please
mind.
add to that.
Also, I think being trans is so private.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, and there's so many things that in regards to trans people that are out there today, they might not share. And I think that it's hard for a lot of the public to go, well, what am I supposed to get, you know, support if I don't understand who you are, what surgery you've had. You know, there's so many, and it's not those aren't the right questions to ask, but it is how people think, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that's all based in the fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you can let go of all of that, and it's also the fear that society has put on trans people to keep it private and to feel scared. And that's what I think allies need to do is like, I'm sorry, all this trans bullshit, like with these kids, like it has lit a fire under me. Like my mama bear is out and I am ready to protect every trans child. Like I posted something that was like, if your parents don't accept your identity, I'm your new mom.
Oh,
and
wow.
that's how I feel. Like I am ready to tackle this. And it, like Cece was saying, it's a time to action. Like it's a call to action to protect these kids.
Stacey, are there organizations that you support that you would recommend for others to?
I'm still investigating all of that. What I would like to say is that I know that right now, this whole year with COVID, it's been hard financially. And if people can give money, that's amazing. But there's a website that I go to that has been my sort of call to action. It's called Pink Manta Ray.
Oh, wow.
Pink Manta Ray.
Pink Manta Ray. He's also on Instagram. And on his website, it's pinkmantaray.com/trans bills. And there's 144 anti-trans bills listed on the website with directions on how to contact governors and various legislators, whether calling them or there's like literally the email's already formatted that you can just copy and paste and send an email. And that's what I've been trying to do with this mama bear fierceness that has gotten in me at this point. I'm trying to do that as much as I possibly can. I'm looking at that website as kind of my guide of what's out there because a lot of people don't know all the nonsense that's happening because we are in California and you see all this stuff happening in other states. And it's so important that we rally against that and fight. Like, this is the time to fight, like a mofo.
I'm going to throw on one more. Bethany, find this as well. It's the National Center for Transgender Equality.
Yes.
I found a lot of great bills on there.
Yes.
All you have to do is sign. Like you can, and even like if the bill is in Montana, you can sign it as who you are and say I'm this anti-trans bill.
Yeah.
Which I think is important as well.
And as Vicky Hoffman just said, share this. pinkmantaray.com /trans bills. Share these. Put them on. It's you know what? Even if you go, this might not change anything. What?
It's not the time to be silent.
It's not
the time to be silent.
So share this and create this. Just do it because these are our babies, y'all. Yeah. These are our fucking babies. Yeah. And we got to do this. We have to do this. Stacey, I love you madly. You know that.
I love you too.
This has been amazing. I've so loved tonight. It's been awesome meeting you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Kiss them babies. Kiss all them babies for me.
I will.
Kiss them babies for
you
me.
adopt.
Love you guys. Bye.
All right. Mwah. Bye.
Oh, wow.
That was oh my gosh. This has been a night.
So a mother's perspective.
Yeah.
A mother's perspective. I think that's so crazy important. We have one more douche of the week. Are we doing this?
Okay. Okay. I don't even know. You know what? Guess what? Maybe we don't even do douche of the week, and we
already said that.
Okay, we have one more douche. One more thing for douche of the week.
Just watch it.
So there's legislation in various states to ban biological boys who are trans from playing girls' sports in school. What's your opinion on that?
This is a question of fairness. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girls' sports in school. It just isn't fair. And we have to protect girls' sports in our school.
But if someone transitions and now identifies as a girl, isn't it delegitimizing their identity to prevent
Have a good day.
We're doing it. There it is. I'm just putting it up there. Michael's like, we're way over. But we started it. There
it's
it
Caitlyn
is.
Jenner.
Caitlyn
Jenner is the douche of the
Can I just say this? Every fucking one of them are douches, in my estimation. Here, I'm putting up the comments. You guys can comment and say what you think.
Oh my
Holy
God.
moly.
Fucking Caitlyn Jenner. And someone said the other day, I read this online. Someone called Caitlyn Jenner a fucking asshole, and they said that was transphobic. No! Here's the deal. Caitlyn Jenner is a fucking asshole.
Because transgender
that is not
people
transphobic.
Can be assholes.
That's not transphobic because guess what? Anybody can be an asshole. Period. And Caitlyn Jenner is a fucking asshole.
We don't have to vote. We can just let them all lie as the douche of the week.
As Patty Jossero said, that's a lot of douche.
Oh, I can't even look at them names anymore. Them names. Names.
So here's the deal.
Cannot look at them names.
We went 15 minutes over, y'all. but we felt it was very important to understand that trans is beautiful.
Oh, look what you did.
Trans is beautiful.
You just tilted the screen.
You know what? Trans rights are human rights, period. I don't know. God, the lighting got better.
The lighting got
Why
better.
didn't you do the lighting like
Why
that
didn't you do the
before?
lighting?
Fuck me.
Bethany,
All
we
right,
did the lighting.
y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are transforming our show.
We're trying to figure it out.
We're figuring out. We're able to like bring people on. We're gonna dig deeper into things as we go along with this. We're still gonna be boozing with gays.
So we're gonna
but
trip
we're
over our
boozing with
words.
gays with some, I don't know, human kindness. No, that's that commercial from the hospital. Human
Did you say Hugh
kindness.
Jackman?
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. If anyone has subjects they would like to, I don't know, suggest to us, by all means do.
Yep.
Reach out to us. Let us know. We love everyone out there.
Thank you, Cece. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Bethany.
Thank you, Bay. We love you. Mwah. Guys, we're out. Hugh Jackman. Huge.
Huge.
Ackman. All right.
Hugh Jackman has a huge Ackman.
See him on Sunday night at
True Story.
True Story.
And,
go to the Facebook page, the Boozin with Gays Facebook page, and like that, because we get to see your if you're on Boozin with Gays the Facebook page, we see your comments right here.
And there was a Boozin with Gays YouTube channel, so
yes, go to our YouTube
lot of
channel
homework.
and
I'm
just
so
subscribe.
sorry.
Just subscribe.
Just do all of
you
it.
You gotta
Love
watch it there.
us
Just
wherever you
subscribe
are.
because we need to get to 100.
100. What is that?
We have to get to 100 because
do we get a prize?
Also, there was no quiz this week, so there's no bread. But the people who are getting bread from last week, you'll have it this weekend. We promise you. Mwah.
I made
Chef's
bread.
kiss.
It was a failure. Sorry.
It was a fucking failure.
Mwah, mwah.
All right.
Love you.
Mwah. Bye. You have to turn this off because I don't know how to do it.
And broadcast up in the
All right.
corner.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so